Hi, welcome to ConnectALL's micro webinar series. My name is Sharachan Bhaskara, and I'm the VP of Client Services here at ConnectALL. Today, we'll be talking about automating and orchestrating your scripting workflows in your value streams by ConnectALL. ConnectALL actually sits on top of your value streams. It can help you automate your workflows, synchronize information, and enforce governance and harvest metrics by taking the information from multiple systems. When we can sit on top of your value streams, ConnectALL's 2.11 release has taken this value stream management to the next level by allowing to visualize and manage your automations using a value stream view and list view of your dashboard. You can also segregate your automations in your value stream into teams and groups. And we can use our logic gate adapters to intercept your workflow in your value stream so that you can enforce governance and some policies or enforcement and stuff like that. We have recently talked about the universal adapter capabilities in the last webinar, where we have talked about the rapid onboarding of new applications or new systems into your value stream and automating the workflows to those specific endpoints with a simple REST API as quick as possible. Today, we'll be talking about scripting management and how scripting will help your value stream automations and what are the different patterns that we have today in the market that can be leveraged using scripting. So Scripting Manager helps you to write custom business logic or organization logic and intercept your automations and intercept your data flow. So what are business scripts? Custom business scripts helps you to extend or change the default rules that you govern in the flow of information between your applications that you have connected in your value stream. Let's take, for example, on where you can use these particular business scripts. Change management pattern is one of the automation patterns that can heavily rely on this business scripting capabilities. In this particular scenario, what I have is Azure pipelines and Azure repos and Jira integrated into our logic gate, and we are aggregating all this information from all these different systems into one single report and sending it into your ServiceNow as a change request, so that your CAB meetings can have this beautiful view of the statuses and the status of your pull request, whether it is merged or not, how many commits it has, who is the author of those commits in one simple line, well-formatted table, and also your Jira story and the status of the story, who is the reporter, and what's the business value of it. You can also take your build status and the test project status and aggregate all this information together using a business script and send it to your ServiceNow. So in one single view, you can see all this information from multiple different systems using the logic gates and our scripting capabilities. So that's one beautiful example of your scripting. Another example would be your governance loop pattern. Let's say, for example, you're getting your ServiceNow service requests, and there might be some PII information that is inputted by the users. You never want to have this PII information in plain text. That's probably your governance policy, and you wanted to enforce it. You can write it, or you can create an automation and script that automation so that you take those specific fields that is going to have your PII information and mark them and update the same record. So that is going to keep on updating your existing record so that the PII information, even if by mistake someone has added it, you can encrypt it or you can remove that particular information. Another example would be your chat ops pattern. In this particular scenario, we are talking about a ServiceNow incident going into your work management backlog into Rally. And during this process, whenever a high severity incident is created in ServiceNow, and we are going to write a script that will see, okay, this is a high severity incident, so I need to notify my stakeholders. So let me send out a notification to my project lead or the business owner so that they can bring in the team that's needed to address that particular incident. So you can write a script to automate this process and say, like, notify these people when these particular conditions are met or when these conditions do not meet. Right? So that's another example where you can use custom business scripting. Another example would be policy enforcement. In policy enforcement, you might have some systems like banking domain. You might have systems related to the customer specific financial data or whatever. And you might have your engineering teams working on different systems. And whatever information you are sharing between the systems, you never want to share your customer related information into your engineering systems. So what you can do is you can create a script to strip out this data and associate that script to that endpoint itself, so that any automation that is synchronizing this information from that particular endpoint, it will always remove those particular data items from the synchronization. So we talked a lot about how and where you can use the scripting and multiple different patterns where you can leverage this. How do we actually manage the scripts is pretty easy in ConnectALL 2.11. So we have the scripting manager where you can write your own scripts in the syntax coded, color coded fashion. And you can have your script editor open and you can type in your script. It doesn't need to be as complex as shown here, but it can be as complex as shown here. You can also intercept your scripts in 4 or 6 different places. ConnectALL lets you to run or execute your scripts in multiple places so that you can take actions based on when the data is getting transformed from going one point to another point. So we have a workflow as well to govern what scripts are going to be executed and how they're going to be executed. So after defining your scripts, you want to also manage your scripts. So you take the control of execution by associating the scripts to automations or connections. So only the connections or automations that are associated will execute the scripts. And when you have multiple scripts that are associated with the same automation at the same execution type, you have the ability to order your execution by moving your scripts up and down. So that's how you manage your scripts in ConnectALL 2.11. And today we talked about the scripting capabilities, we talked about the patterns where you can use the business scripting, and we talked about how do you manage your scripting in ConnectALL itself. If you have any more questions, please reach out to our sales department at sales@connectall.com for more deep dive demos on how scripting can help you to solve your business workflows. Right? In the next part of this 5-part series, we'll be talking about managing your automations across teams and groups, so that how you can leverage this saves team concept and organize your value streams in between teams and groups. It would be really interesting, and I would like you to see you there again. Thanks for visiting us today, and thanks for watching this webinar. It's been a pleasure presenting it to you, and have a wonderful day. Bye.